was to not look at the magazines and not, like, compare yourself all the time. Not watch all these videos about models and all that stuff because it's fake. It's not a real world, and it's true. There's Photoshop and there's makeup and all these different things that can totally make a person look like they're not themselves, not what they really are. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, I'm really grateful that I am as confident as I am. Because I don't want to get pulled over.
You get pulled over?
No.
That'll help your confidence a lot.
Well, yeah. But no, I was just feeling a lot like, wow, I'm really glad I grew up in a family that, like, does crazy stuff. Like, will, you know, on those days at school where it's, like, hat day, and everybody else just wears, like, a baseball cap or whatever, and we wear this giant shark head on our head, you know, like, or a sombrero that's, like, 3 feet wide, or, like, what else do we have? We have tons of awesome hats, and it's like, it never really occurred to me that somebody wouldn't want to do that growing up in my family, because they're just always doing crazy stuff, and everybody's like, ooh, like they fight over the good hats that are crazy because that's what's fun, that's what gets weird looks from people, and that's what makes people, like, admire you, because you're willing to wear it. But in my family, growing up, I never really thought that. I always just thought everybody would fight over the cool things like that and not be like, oh, I'm too scared, like, I don't want to hurt my image or my reputation, you know?
Yeah.
And I laugh about it, but really, that's how people are, you know? They're just like, I'm too scared, what will they say? And I remember thinking to myself, the one day when I wrote hawks in my hair, you know, I went to school, I remember being so scared right when I got to school, and I was just about to get out of the car, and I was like, what's going to happen today? What are they going to think of my crazy hawk hairdo, you know? And then I was like, you know what? Who cares? I'm going to do something totally crazy and cool that's just like me, and if they don't like it, like, what's the worst that could happen? You know? Nobody's going to kill me. I'm not going to die. That's the worst thing that could happen, so I'm just going to do it. It's great.
And now you're glad that you did, huh?
Yeah, I'm so glad. I got in the newspaper for that one, right?
Yeah.
Became famous. And I think that also I noticed that some, like, certain ones of my friends in high school, I think the reason why they liked hanging out with me is because I was crazy. Like, not crazy, like, I don't know, I was willing to do the things that other people weren't willing to do because they were afraid to, or they just didn't have enough self-confidence or enough of a reason to act weird, I guess.
And not crazy, like, stupid, but, like, just fun. Like, you didn't care what people thought.
Yeah.
You just have a good time without caring what people say or think about it.
And it's fun. And people get scared of that type of a thing. They just don't. Some people are just so nervous about stuff like that it's not fun to them to wear a hat or to wear a costume. Like, one of my best friends doesn't like wearing costumes, and that's okay. And I didn't realize her fear. I didn't understand her fear until I dressed up like a witch. And I was out with all these other witches, and they all had these awesome personalities that went along with their awesome costumes. And I was just, like, all I had was the costume, and I did not have the personality to go with it. Because I don't feel like, out of all the different characters I could be, a witch is just not me.
Which, speaking of costumes, we have a really awesome costume prank thing that we have coming up. So you'll have to stay tuned for that. It's going to be super fun. Becca's making the costume now.
Yep.
Well, not now, because we're driving, but...
I'm in the middle of making a costume and driving and talking.
Costume making and driving all at the same time. she's so talented.
That's right.
That'll boost your image or your self-esteem. You know, being able to multitask.
I guess overall, I can't really remember what I was talking about, but
Just how cool you are. That's all.
yeah.
How awesome you are. You're the coolest person in the whole wide world. And I love your guts.
It's just, oh yeah, my friend, I never realized how scary it was to dress up until I dressed up like a witch, and it was not fun because I was with all these people that had awesome personalities and could cackle really well, and I couldn't cackle, and I didn't have a scary voice.
Cackle.
No, that was really bad.
Let's hear again.
No, I get better when I'm around a bunch of other witches.
Becca, you'll make your mom proud.
But see, it wasn't fun because I was so scared, so it's like the best thing I could do was probably cackle like that, and then I didn't sound like that the rest of the time. So it was like, where's that retarded girl in a costume? She doesn't have any kind of personality. Oh, man.
Who says you don't have a personality?
Not the right kind for a witch.
No.
To some people. I can be a witch, but not in that way.
You have the personality of a princess.
Oh, man.
So, I guess you're just happy that you're confident in yourself and your
Well, I think that in my family, we thrived on stuff like that. We constantly were doing stuff just to, like, get attention. Even my parents, my dad especially, he loves to. What exit are we taking?
30-something.
Okay. Like, my dad will just, like, tease, like, constantly, just tease and flirt with all the women, even though my mom's standing right there.
Sounds like my grandpa. My grandpa does that.
And it's fun because he's got a good sense of humor, and that's really what matters. That he's laughing and he's getting other people to have a good time too. And that's what's fun and makes people not so nervous around you and just like being around you.
Just have fun and be confident in yourself, and don't be afraid.
Anyway, I was just going to say that I really like the fact that my family isn't always like comparing our craziness to like all of the supermodels, which makes me like, you know, like.
Even though you already are a supermodel.
Dang. But
they can't even compare to you. Especially with my sunglasses on.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's funny how right before she starts talking about her self-esteem video, she's like, I want to talk about how confident I am.
Yeah.
Do you have any sunglasses in the car before we turn on this video?
Don't tell that.
That's a secret.
Don't beat you up.